One of the first clients I signed after starting out with the coaching program is I got a $9,000 all up front.
From signing $30,000 worth of deals in 4 months. Tell me about some of the insights you've experienced as you're transitioning into a full-time business owner.
I think the number one thing is that this whole starting a business and going all in on it is
All right, welcome everybody. Here's another case study interview session with one of our students inside the Words of Dollars program. Today we have Ryan Porter. So even before we get to the interview part, Ryan, why don't you just tell people about your background, what you do, and what you're currently helping your clients with?
thanks, Al. So my background is really in video marketing. Got my start working for some high budget commercials over in Hollywood. Worked that into getting in more into marketing, getting into going and producing advertisements on my own for more like online and internet education businesses. So I spent 3 years as marketing manager for a company. Since then, about 6 months ago, I left my role. Been doing this on my own, kind of freelancing and working only with other clients. So I've shifted from working with more of a B2C type company, but now more B2B, working with businesses and helping them basically bring in more leads for their business. And a lot of those companies, some of them are still in finance, other are more like new digital products and websites. I've got an e-commerce clothing brand that I'm working with too. Worked with local businesses like landscapers as well. So I'm still figuring things out on my end, but it's been a fun process and a good time being a part of the coaching group.
Love to hear it, man. Tell us about some of the results you've gotten, the kind of businesses you've worked with, some of the things that have transpired since started working together.
One of the first clients I signed after starting out with the coaching program is I got a $9,000 all up front from a landscaping business owner. And that was all for just 3 months of work. Since then, I landed a 4K a month for the clothing brand. And then I've gone a couple other one-off projects with different businesses for at least $1,000 each. And then I also have another client who was paying me, I believe it ranged from about four to 4.5 grand per month, and that was for about 5 months. And I'm still working with them to this day too.
So nice. A handful of clients who you gotten like retainers anywhere from 3 to 5. I think you even made like one of your videos about it. I think it was about like roughly 30K in a 4 month time frame.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, man. What would you say is the biggest sort of insight that you've had since joining? And just not just from working with me, but from signing $30,000 worth of deals in 4 months. Tell me about some of the insights you've experienced as you're transitioning into a full-time business owner.
I think that's definitely a deep one because there is so much that I've learned as far as like just going on and doing this on my own. I think the number one thing is that this whole starting a business and going in on it is really more of a spiritual journey than it is like anything else. I've had to, and I think you might have even said that, but it like resonates with me a ton because I think so much of it comes down to if I'm not getting the results that I want, I need to make sure that I'm improving like my personal like self. And by that, hey, I'm not getting the results I want because I'm not doing enough outreach, because I don't have enough time in the day. But really, it's not about just not having time. It's, oh, wait, I do have the time. Okay, now I have to look at my habits. So I think really getting down to whatever the root cause of this issue that's coming up in my head, that's what I have to get to. And that's one of the biggest things that like will help me with is it's really just like looking inside and not like blaming the surroundings. It's really, it all stems from myself. So that's something I've learned and something I've learned through this experience of running a business. Other things too is that there are more ways than I initially thought to get clients and get leads from my business. I used to think, oh, I have to put out all this content and do it every day for the sake of doing it. And oftentimes I would just be going through the motions anyway and just putting content out, even if it wasn't good, thinking this is going to work for me. Then get disappointed, quit for a while because it wasn't working. But I learned from you that there's other ways to do this. And it's, oh, instead of, you don't have to be this like the content guy. You can get in front of people like business owners or whoever your ideal customer is supposed to be by reaching out to them with a smart script. But not only that too, learning the sales side of things has been probably the number one lever mover for me because yeah, I can get some of the marketing down. I know how to make content. I know how to talk to people, got that down. But when it comes down to like actually getting through that mental barrier of making a pitch, planning the sale, that was definitely something I had no clue about before we started working together. And I think after 30 sales calls now, using the lessons that you give me, I go into sales calls way more confident. And I think that confidence shows. And that confidence also just helps me land clients at a higher clip.
Talk a little bit more about the sales stuff or like what you would tell to someone on the outside looking in, because a lot of people that want to work with me or want to work with us. That's probably the number one thing. They say sales makes them feel icky and gross. They don't particularly like it. They don't think they're a natural salesperson. They struggle. They have some things mentally. So, what would you say has been like most beneficial to you in terms of helping you overcome some of those resistance, excuse me, to sales that you learned inside the program?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is for sales, it's having the confidence in my own products. And then basically, let me backtrack real quick. I think the big thing is knowing that what I'm doing is actually going to be able to help who I'm pitching to versus trying to just take their money. Because after all, like everything, like when I look around, I'm like, everything's a sales pitch. Yeah, everything's marketing, everything's a sale. I'm trying to get you to have you give them money. You don't think about it that way when you're the one buying. You're the one going, oh, actually, I can get something for this exchange of money. So if you're on a sales call and you're scared to make this pitch, it's actually you're preventing this person from potentially improving their life in some way. It's like getting through that mental barrier was one of the biggest things for me.
100%. Talk to some of the people on what they should be thinking about in terms of a mental shift, even in terms of who you can target. So that because a lot of people are like, wow, gosh, would somebody really pay me 5 grand a month to help them? And the answer is yes, if you find the right people. So talk a little bit about higher ticket philosophy and what you think the uninitiated should have in their mental paradigm in terms of being able to accomplish that for themselves.
I've been trying to do this whole online business thing for a while. I think it was like 5 years ago, I really started writing online, getting into it. And maybe 2 years after that, I tried to make a product. I tried making a course to sell $200 or whatever to people, realized how am I going to make a living doing this if I have to sell $200 units to however many people to get to 10K a month or 100K per year or whatever? That'd be really hard unless I had a massive audience already to then put it out to. When you go high ticket, it's okay, cool. Actually, what I can do is just have 4 clients at $2,500 per month recurring, and then cool, like now I'm making 10K a month, no problem. So yeah, like while it might be harder, actually, I don't even know if it's harder. I would say it's almost as easy to sell someone at a higher ticket price as it is a lower ticket one, because generally I've just noticed now that I'm working more with business owners, people can see the direct ROI for something if it's worth their time and they're going to get 3x what they paid for. It's totally worth it. So that's what I'm trying to do with my own offers, position it in a way where, hey, yeah, it's recurring, but ideally, I'm going to go after people or companies, businesses that are making a certain amount of money. Oh, if you sell 2 products per month when you're working with me and you're getting 3x what you paid for, it's a no brainer at that point. So now it's really, oh, they just have to trust me. And by trusting me, I just need to put content out and make sure what I'm talking about is like authority driven. And I have a VSL that makes them go, cool, like he knows what he's talking about. It's showing all these testimonials and case studies from past people he's worked with. So yeah, like while it takes a little bit of time to build that up, I think it makes it a lot, which is more of a no-brainer to go high ticket.
So a lot of people, when they're trying to go the low ticket route, like what they don't realize is that you have to have a large audience in order to succeed. And I think the reason why so many creators and would-be entrepreneurs get it in their head that they need a big following is because like most of what people are teaching them to do is predicated on that low ticket stuff. Right. So talk about that sort of like call it just objection. But what if I don't have a large social media following? Like, how can I get customers if I don't have a bunch of people following me online?
DMs, you do the DM script, hit that day after day. I know you talk about this a lot and it can be difficult because it's boring. I shouldn't say that. It's not necessarily boring, but it can be, you do what's necessary. When you do the DMs, you're just doing what's necessary to win. And by doing the DMs, I mean you're sending DMs 25 or more per day to the people who you think would be good customers for you. And the advantage of doing that is basically instead of you're making content and hoping people see it, go through the funnel, and then work with you, you're getting in front of the people and basically skipping through levels of the funnel. So that way you can have direct one-on-one conversations with people, and that way tell them what you're about and get them on calls with you.
And it's okay to use it. We're like, it is boring. It can be boring sometimes. And I think a lot of what I talk about in the business model, like I feel like I wanted to get to the point where I just want to help people have a business model that's going to be effective, where maybe a different approach, like it might sound easier or feel better, but like it just doesn't work as effectively. Let's say someone is on the fence about joining and maybe there's a certain amount of work involved. What would you say to them about maybe what they should change in their mindset. Because like at the end of the day, we're building stuff, vehicles to help us build freedom, but building a business does require work. There is no such thing as getting something for nothing. There can be beauty in the process as well. So give some insights to the people who are like, I'm not worried about doing all the volume and things like that.
Yeah, the advice I give to people who are worried about doing the work is I have a story from a direct report that I had about a year ago. He comes to me and he goes, how do you just do this boring work that I have to do every single day? Basically, for context, he was reaching out to people for a podcast and trying to collect emails, basically lead scraping, but to get people on a podcast for something, for someone he was. I told him, dude, like, this is just how it is. But the way you got to look at it is boring work equals exciting life. Because if you're able to do the stuff that like no one, other people are not willing to do, if you're willing to do the stuff that actually moves your business, because not all the stuff that moves your business forward is going to be super exciting. That's going to give you more opportunities to have that free time at some point to then live the life that you want, whether it's going on vacations or literally just you have some free time at 3 p.m. to go to the gym if you're able to get that stuff done initially. So you get it done, you eat the frog first thing, and then it just opens up a lot of opportunities for yourself.
Let's just assume this person can deliver something on the back end, like they're skilled at something. But what if they're worried about, I don't have an offer yet, or I don't have clarity on what to sell? What would you tell them about whether or not they should join to get that type of clarity on the offer?
I would tell people who are on the fence about joining to get clarity in an offer that I was going to help you make that offer. Because before I joined, I had no idea. I knew about offers, I knew about products, but I had no idea where to start, what kind of offer I wanted to make, how to format it, how to set it up in a way where I deliver it properly to people. But we got it done. And honestly, we got it done pretty quickly. And that became like the foundation of everything that I built very quickly. So I would say you'll figure it out. The systems that help you make it. He's always there for you when you have questions about anything. But no, the systems are there to help you validate it. I'm telling you, like I had no clue what I was doing with it before, and now I'm on maybe my fourth iteration since learning and putting it out there. Because the other thing too is you're so worried about putting a product out there, you can get data on whether it's going to work or not real quick by sending the DMs, by making the content, by having conversations with customers or prospects. And then the product only gets better after every iteration that you make.
Glad to hear it. What would you just say, like in terms of anyone who has questions about the program, they have concerns about whether or not it's going to work, and honestly, like there's a significant investment for some people. What would you tell somebody who has genuinely had thoughts, concerns? I need to think about it, fears, hesitations, trepidations. What would you tell them about your experience and what they should be thinking mentally in terms of, because it can be a big decision.
Yes, this can definitely be a big decision, but ultimately what I would say is you're going to learn the skills, you're going to get the systems, you're going to have the support you need to then basically make up for the money or make up for the investment that you put up front. And as long as you're able to literally, if you follow the checklist that I set out for you step by step, it's going to work. It's going to work out for you. I can guarantee it because like it worked out for me. And that's coming from someone who's been wishy-washy on trying to figure out a product and offer and content and DMs for almost 5 years before I started working with Ayo. And pretty much after a couple months of working with him, the product is out, was able to land on the thing.
Love it. So what's next? What's next for you personally? What are some of the things that you're looking to get accomplished in the next couple of months?
Yep, looking to get to 30K a month by the end of the year. Also going to hit my first 10K month this month, talking to lots of clients, making things work, and then also hoping to make a couple hires as far as editors and maybe some virtual assistants go in the next couple.
Love it. And looking forward on my end to seeing how we can help you facilitate all the above. Ryan, thank you so much for your time, and I will see the rest of you guys later.